We back on. And it is the show that you've all been waiting for. Welcome back to Brian and Ricky. Discuss the world from the U.S. lens. Mm-hmm. All right, what's going on, Brian? We got 27 executive orders in 2 days. So a lot of them are BS, but let's talk about some of the decent ones, huh?
Yeah. Well, we have President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris now. Just one of the, I guess, the most notable ones that people are up in arms about right now is a mask mandate. Joe Biden has only said that he's going to do it on federal grounds and federal buildings.
Well, he can only do it. I mean, through law, he's not going to be able to do it anywhere else. The only other places he's talked about are public transportation. So you got trains, buses, airplanes.
They're already doing it, though.
But that's the issue here, is that this stuff is already being done, and so it sounds nice that you're mandating it. It sounds powerful, but if we're all honest, not going to do anything. Yeah. So it's like...
Yeah, well, did you see when Joe Biden got questioned about like the vaccines, and he kind of like snuffed off the reporter? He's just like, "Come on, man."
No, I didn't see it, but that doesn't surprise me at all. Dude, I got my first dose. I got my first dose 2 weeks ago, and I still have this red reaction around the site here.
What did you get, the
Moderna?
Yeah.
Work was going to
mandate it.
Yeah, well, it's like if you get sick with COVID, they're not going to cover you. Yeah. They're not going to cover you anymore with the like emergency COVID stuff. So it's like I would have had to take 2 weeks worth of sick days. I'm like, just to get the shot.
Yeah, let's get the shot.
Yeah. All right, so masks, whatever. We've been wearing masks for a year.
Yeah, and plus, like, if he did do it nationwide, there would be states that would challenge it.
Yeah, whatever.
So,
you seen the tube mask thing? Yeah, so they were talking about maybe starting to require or encourage a two-mask thing. Biden was wearing one, Mitt Romney wore one, Tom Cruise was wearing them, and it's like becoming this thing like, one's not good enough, do two now. We're like, be done!
Yeah, that would just be annoying. I think if you have a thick enough mask, like if you have cause I wear mainly like when I go to the store and like stuff like that, like, and even I'm at my job, I mainly wear like just one.
Yeah, not good enough, Brian.
I wear a face shield too.
You want my grandmother to die? Mine.
Mine's already dead.
Mine are all dead.
Yeah, so.
They're all dead. Yeah, no, it's just one of those things. Yeah, I don't care. It's not gonna do anything. Okay, next topic.
Well, just the withdrawal. Well, the reversal of the withdrawal from the WHO.
The WHO, our friends.
Yeah.
Don't you think we forgot when you said that COVID was not transmitted person to person? Okay. Don't you think we forgot it?
Yeah.
So the whole thing initially was like Trump was convinced, and maybe rightfully so, that the WHO was kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, biased for China, or China had them in their pocket, or whatever you want to call them.
But we know that
WHO was wildly irresponsible at the beginning of this.
Yeah, but we know that's true, though, that they were being influenced, at least to some extent, by China, because they didn't do any independent research themselves. They took China at their word that it wasn't transmittable person to person.
Right. And so then when the U.S. is the greatest what do you call it, donor, I don't know, they put the contributor out of any country to the WHO, and then WHO pulls some crap like that. It's like, it's understandable, like, we're not going to play this game anymore.
Yeah,
so it's understandable, but Biden apparently think that's okay, so we're back funding them, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it was never
a stellar job.
Well, it was never that we stopped funding them. It was just that if Trump had gotten elected again, the funding would have probably stopped.
It was going to be a year. It was going to be a year from the time he announced it.
the budget was already set for the fiscal year.
So we never actually ended up
pulling out or anything like that.
not funding them. So shoot. I don't know how much that's gonna do. It's just kind of annoying. It's like, are we gonna hold them accountable at all? Are we gonna say, hey, this is an issue? What are you guys gonna do to fix it?
Yeah. Especially after they said lockdowns don't work.
Trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars, not to mention all the other issues that have gone on with COVID. It's like we could have done some things initially, like we could have done some things, but whatever. I'm past it. What's next?
Just the pause on student loan debt payments. It's a good idea, but I think it's kind of it's just weird because you're gonna parse out these people who, probably we're in a pandemic right now, and we're gonna probably this year we're probably gonna go from a recession to a depression. So it doesn't really make any sense to defer payment. The people aren't going to be able to pay.
It's a really interesting topic because you can see kind of everybody's point. So one, it's like to delay it longer. Okay, cool. I mean, we've stopped enough jobs from happening where you kind of have to be responsible in some way and say, hey, we know we kind of took away a bunch of jobs. We won't let you work, so we kind of have to give you some leeway. So I get it. But the whole issue with student loans in my mind is the fact that you can forgive your $10,000 or you can forgive your $50,000 in student debt to every borrower. But at the end of the day, if you're not going to fix the issue that got us to that point, it is worthless.
Yeah, and that's the big thing.
We're going to be right back in the same spot 5 to 10 years, and we're going to be doing the same thing. And so
it's almost been exactly 10 years since, the Great Recession. So, it's going to happen again.
Well, there's actually an interesting article I wanted to bring up that I read by I guess we call him a famous investor, a well-known investor that was talking about what the market is likely going to do soon. And fairly scary, man, when he was
on the basic currency. Everyone's going to hoard up gold, going to just become tribes.
He didn't get into that.
Going to become tribes again.
Oh, shoot, it's gone, man.
All going to use cryptocurrency.
I'm already deep into crypto, bro. Shoot, I lost it. Wait, I think I emailed it to somebody. Yeah, here we go. Business Insider,
okay.
Legendary investor Jeremy Grantham says Biden's $1.9 trillion stimulus plan will make the stock market bubble even worse. Yeah. And so he goes on to say, this is it's very possible that it's going to kind of put us over the top. And so he said there will be a short time when people are relieved. Things will seem to be doing better. But then it will come crashing down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ugh. I'm just starting to put money into the market now. I'm really starting to pay attention to my 401k and my Roth IRA stuff. Yeah. And it's
it's gonna crash.
I'm just putting it in now and then it's gonna crash. I was like, But the guy seems like he knows what he's talking about, and he's scared enough to make all these comments, and so he has a reputation to protect. So I would think that he's
on the mark because that's essentially what the government is doing. They're creating bubbles. In the market, they're giving people a false sense of security that everything is fine when it's not. That was the whole thing during the Barack Obama administration was he was creating a bubble through quantitative easing because interest rates were basically zero. You were basically they were giving banks money to borrow out to people at interest.
Yep.
That was basically free to the banks.
Yeah, it's not
and that's not going to be good because hey, what's going to happen when those people eventually have to pay that money back and they can't?
Yes, no bueno, dude. It's scary.
Like we're in, like it's basically a Greece crisis, but with every American now.
Yeah,
like you're literally never gonna be able to get yourself out of debt. Like they're literally, like it's just like with Greece borrowing from the EU. They were literally borrowing money that they could never pay back.
The same article was talking about inflation too.
Yeah. And so that's what's going to happen. Like
people's hard-earned money is suddenly going to be worth much less.
Yeah,
that part of the thing like really scares me.
Yeah, prices are gonna go through the roof probably by like what, June or July.
I don't understand the market good enough to like even be in this conversation, but listening to the people that do know, that's what makes me scared.
Yeah,
you know.
But that's the thing. Like when the government does these kind of injections, that's what always happens. Yeah. Like it happened during the Great Depression, it happened during the 70s, it happened during the Great Recession, and it's going to happen again because you can't artificially control the market. Like the prices are set there for a reason, and so eventually you're just going to have people not be able to buy products, and then those products are going to become more expensive to purchase because people don't have money.
They have money, it's just not worth anything.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like your money's basically going to become not worthless, but it's going like the value of it is going to become less. And I think even more so if they don't get this stimulus out, like anytime soon, people aren't going to have money. So even the meager saving that they might have, it's not going to be able to afford anything.
My buddy has a bunch of Venezuelan money, and he was holding a bunch of cash, and he was like throwing it on the table. He's like, "Yo, this is worth 8 cents."
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna get into. Hopefully, we don't get into hyperinflation, but that's what's basically. Yeah, I don't know. Like basically, what's gonna happen is the currency's gonna either the government's gonna devalue the currency, or we're gonna see like a greater rate of inflation. So.
Yeah, so that's scary stuff. So like you have to fix the issue first off.